Glad that's over.
Yeah, I think the day went well. I think it was a lot of fun doing the testing, a lot of fun, seeing where I'm at with my physical capabilities, and definitely fun that the Wingate's over. I think that was definitely a tough one, but yeah, overall, really, really good day. Yeah.
What's the toughest part of that?
I think the first kind of 10, 15 seconds are all right. You're feeling pretty good, and then that last 10 seconds is you're really grinding, you're really fighting through it, and you got the trainer screaming at you as well, screaming at you to keep pushing. So that's definitely probably the toughest part of it. Yeah.
Does that screaming help? Does that push you?
I think a little bit. Yeah. I think you want to. It's pushing you. It's motivating you. It's trying to get every last ounce of energy out of you. So they just want to see you give your best effort. So I think it definitely helped me for sure. Yeah.
When you go through something like that, are you cognizant of what the scores of the other group, guys in your group, what they're doing? Are you looking at their scores, how many reps they have, like as a competition type of thing?
Not as much, no. I think more so it's a competition within yourself. I think it's everyone's at different levels of their physical capabilities with the off season as well, with how long they've been playing for and how long they've had an off season. So I think it's mainly test against yourself, test against the type of athlete you are and what you've accomplished so far. And I think that's kind of what my mindset was going into it.
What was your best test today? You feel?
I think my vertical jump, my long jump was pretty good. I think the vertical jump as well was pretty good. I think I could have done a couple more pull-ups, but I think overall pretty good. Yeah.
What were your conversations with New Jersey like in the interview process?
Yeah, I think they're really positive. Just got to know them more as an organization. They they got to know me as well as an individual, and kind of what I'm all about. What I'm like off the ice, rather than just kind of watching me on the ice and watching how I play and the type of player I am. So yeah, they went really well. Really really happy with how they went, and just great positive conversation.
Yeah, they're a young team. What would it be like to play with a young group like Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes and that young core?
Yeah, I think anytime you can step into a team like that in a situation like that with that young core, like you're saying, and the amount of young prospects that they have in their system, would be pretty special, and it would be definitely a really good situation to be in for sure.
Are you going to New Jersey after this? I know they,
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. I mean, I'm flying out later today to New Jersey. Yeah.
Just to clarify, you're flying to meet with the Devils?
Yes.
Over there?
Yeah.
And what's the plan after that, Shane? You meet the Devils, or do you go back home, or how's that work?
Yeah, and then so I fly out tonight to New Jersey. Then I spend the day tomorrow, and then fly back home Monday, and then just kind of get back to work, get back to training, just kind of get back to the swing of things in the off season.
How many teams do you meet with?
12 teams. Yeah.
You're flying there and doing the tour with Uri Sapkowski as well, because he just said he's doing this as well. So.
Yeah, I think a couple of the top prospects are going, and we're all kind of going together to tour facilities and get to know them a little bit better.
You feel like it's going to be kind of awkward to be with other prospects?
Yes and no. I think that it's just kind of part of the situation we're in. You're always going to cross paths with those guys. You're always going to run into them. So I wouldn't really say it's awkward. I think that we're all in the same boat. We're all going through that experience together. So more excitement than anything, rather than kind of awkwardness. But
How much do you know about Yuri? He seems to have a good sense of humor, cracking jokes. Like, what do you know about him off the ice, on the ice?
I don't really know too much about him off the ice. Haven't really had many chances to meet him, but obviously on the ice he's a talented player. He's definitely a guy who's earned everything he's had this year in his career. So definitely a really talented player. I don't really know him too well off the ice, but obviously know he's a pretty special player on the ice.
Shane, how difficult was it to navigate the season that was, especially last year with the OHL season? You had to get back into the swing of things this year.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. Anytime you miss that amount of time without being able to play games, it's definitely going to be tough. Definitely going to be an adjustment at the start. So I think it was definitely a struggle for me to start, but I feel like once I got my legs under me, it definitely improved for sure.
How do you get into that mindset? Like, how do you balance everything on and off the ice with everything going on?
Yeah, I think just kind of focus on stuff that really matters. Kind of control what you can control. Can't really focus on what people are saying in the media or what people are saying about you online or in social media. So you really just got to focus on yourself and just kind of be yourself and be a good teammate and just go through and just do all the things that only you can control.
Going off that, how has it been this week with all the camera crews following you? Are you someone that would like to fly a little bit more under the radar, or does it really affect you at all, or no?
Yes and no. I think it kind of affects me to an extent, but I feel like that's just kind of the reality of the situation I'm in. I think that the day and age we're in, there's always going to be cameras and stuff. There's always going to be media and social media and all that following pretty much everyone here, and myself included. So I think that just kind of comes along with the situation I'm in and where I'm at right now.
Shane, what was harder, the VO2 or the Wingate?
I mean, I just got off the Wingate, so maybe a little biased, but I'd probably say Wingate was harder. Yeah.
How do you, you've got to tune it out, right? You're talking about tuning out. Do you have a strategy for that? I know some athletes talk about meditation or distractions to not focus on that sort of thing. How do you tune it out?
Yeah, I think just finding little things to take your mind off the game, finding things to, away from hockey that kind of take your mind off the game. I like to golf. That's something that I've always, not always, but I think the last couple of years especially, I'd like to do. And then, I recently, got a guitar, so learn how to play that, learn how to, play songs on the guitar. So just kind of, I really, put a lot of emphasis on this year on things to take my mind off hockey, things that, get my mind off the game for a little bit to, like you said, get away from those pressures and expectations sometimes.
Would you like to press fast forward and find out how it all pans out, like right now, if you could?
I don't think so. No, honestly, I think that I want to enjoy the experience. I want to enjoy the experience of leading up to the draft and all this experience here because you only go through the draft once. It's only something that happens once in your life. So I don't want it to go too fast. I want to make sure that as much as it's can be overwhelming at times and there's a lot going on, I think that I also want to enjoy it. I also want to soak in every second of this because, like I said, it's the draft only comes around once.
You kind of like it seems like there's a little bit of uncertainty, maybe at the top as to some drafts. It's like this guy's going there, this guy's going there. Do you kind of like the uncertainty a little bit to give it a little bit of a surprise, I guess? I'd rather have a.
I mean, I feel like I'd rather have kind of a clear-cut guy. I think that anytime there's kind of a battle for first, I think you want to be that clear-cut guy. You want to be that guy who's for sure going number one. But I think there's always decisions to make. There's always people that have to make decisions on their future. I mean, it's future of franchises potentially with the first picks in the draft. So there's always really big decisions to make in that scenario. So.
Who's someone who's had a really big impact on your hockey career?
I think probably a cliche answer, but my dad. I think my dad's always been there for me. He's always someone who supported me every step of the way, but he's also pushed me. He's always pushed me to always be better, always just be the best person, be the best hockey player that I can be. And I know he's always going to be there for me. I know he's always going to be by my side every step of the way. And I can be more happy, more proud of having him as my dad.
You mentioned it'd be nicer to have a clear-cut situation, but you've been number one for a while on a lot of lists. What's your confidence level in terms of going number one? Is that kind of what you feel it's going to be, or do you have a sense?
I think I have my own opinion, but I think at this point my opinion doesn't matter as much. I think I've done all I can on the ice and through the interview process with from this week. So it's in the hands of the staff in Montreal now. So my opinion doesn't really matter anywhere at this point.
Shane?
You see this event as a competitive event, like because obviously the testing is different values for different teams, but your perspective on it, you come here to compete for it.
I think you're mainly compete with yourself. I think that you're battling against yourself and battling against what you can accomplish and how much you can push yourself. I think, like I was saying with the fitness testing, it's all about pushing your boundaries, pushing your limits to how much you can do, pushing yourself on the VO2 and the Wingate and all that kind of stuff. And with the interviews as well, every player is different. Every player's going through a different scenario right now with the interview process and what teams are looking at them. So every situation is different. Every player is different. So I think it's mainly competition within yourself.
You were mentioning that you would be flying to New Jersey, visit the facilities and all that. Have you done that with Montreal?
I haven't done that with Montreal, no.
And it's nothing scheduled in that sense?
No, nothing scheduled for that, no.
Shane, what kind of locker room guy would you say you are?
Yeah, I think I'm a fun guy to be around. I think I like having fun in the room. I like joking around with the guys. I like relaxing and having a good time. But I'm also I can also be intense. I also want to get to work and want to make sure that guys are focused and guys are dialed in for practices or whatever it looks like. But I think it's kind of having that balance of making sure that you're also enjoying yourself, making sure that it's fun to be at the rink. It's fun to be around the guys. I think that's kind of the energy and the passion that I bring.
And can you play any songs on the guitar?
A couple, yeah. I do Fast Car by Tracy Chapman, the little finger picking. I can do a couple City and Color songs. I can do Wonderwall pretty well, and some country songs as well that I know. But yeah.
What's next on your list to learn?
I'm looking at a couple Mumford & Sons songs. I think they're a pretty cool band that I like. So they got some difficult songs, but they'd be pretty some pretty cool ones to learn for sure.
It's a really wide range of viewpoints.
Yeah, I think a little bit of stuff that I like. I like the country music, so I like playing a couple of songs like that. And my dad likes the more kind of 80s rock, that kind of thing. So learn a couple of songs to play for him, and because I'm not a singer, he's more of a singer. So if I play him, he'd sing them rather than me trying to sing them. But
You guys performed together before? Have you done events? Like, do you do gigs?
no, not yet though. We might look into it though, but no, I'm not good enough yet for that. But just kind of for family and just kind of playing for each other. But yeah.
Obviously, a lot of
What are the 80s songs that you play with your dad?
Like some City and Color songs, some Mumford & Sons, Oasis, a couple songs, just kind of different bands like that. Yeah. Not yet. No, that's a little too advanced for me.
obviously a lot of the conversation has rightfully so been around you. But what can you tell us about your Kingston teammates who are also involved in this draft?
Yeah, I think Luds and Eddie, they're two guys that really build great relationships with them this year. I think Eddie, I just kind of met him this year. I didn't really know too much about him in the past, but he's a great guy. He's a really fun guy to be around in the room. He's really funny guy off the ice, but he's also super committed and super hardworking. He's always in the gym, stretching out, making sure that he's taking care of his body. And with Luds, I know Luds for a couple of years now, and he's always a hardest working guy. He's always someone who's going to compete 100% of the time, every single game. So two really good teammates of mine, two guys that I'm happy to call friends as well.
Shane, you mentioned Bergeron yesterday as maybe a player comp. Is he a guy that you have actually watched for a number of years and sort of modeled your game after a little bit?
For sure, yeah. He's a guy I love watching. He's a guy that I just think he does everything right. I think he's just someone who can play in just so many different situations. He's someone who can be trusted in so many different spots, and I really like watching him play.
It's really, the league, you get Austin Matthews, those type of guys who are just putting up unbelievable offensive numbers. You're more of a, obviously a two-way guy. You want to be that kind of like Marchand, or not Marchand, Bergeron. I get them confused. But I mean, I guess I'm getting at the value of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, in your opinion, there should still be a high value in a two-way center.
I agree. I think that obviously there is value in having a goal scorer, having a guy that puts up a lot of points, but there's a lot more that goes into hockey than just scoring goals. There's a lot more that goes into teams having success, into winning games than just putting up points. And I think that's where I kind of put a lot of emphasis on that 200-foot game, that guy who can do a lot of different things right, and play in a lot of different situations. So that's definitely the type of guy I see myself as.
I know you're pretty good in the face-off circle. At the NHL level, are you curious as to how that's going to translate and just the challenge of facing NHLers?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a challenge. I think that anytime you're moving up in the league to the best league in the entire world, I think playing against the best players, it's going to be an adjustment. You're definitely going to have to go through a lot of video, go through a lot of practice with coaches and other guys on your team, just kind of making sure that you can compete in face-offs, making sure that you're a strong face-off guy, and you're actually a guy that can be a long-time center in the league.
We'll take one more from Shane. One more.
Just going back to the Patrice Bergeron thing, Kent Hughes was his agent. Obviously, he knows him as good as anyone. Probably was that brought up at all during either from you or from Kent during the meetings you've had with Montreal?
Not really, actually. No, it wasn't really brought up. I think just kind of something that kind of. I was just saying, obviously, I said, I've been saying for a while, Bergeron's been my guy that I like modeling myself after, but nothing really kind of came up between, Kent and Patrice, but. Pardon?
Who's your agent?
Cam Stewart, Kurt Overhart, KO Sports. Yeah.
What's your mindset going into testing? Is there a competitive aspect of it?
Yeah, for sure. I think, you always want to have the top scores, be the best one out there. That's something that, I talked about. You never want to be in second place or anything like that. So I think, I have to enjoy it too. It's pretty fun to be in this moment, and, just have to enjoy it.
How do you sum up how it went out there for you today?
Yeah, I think, as I thought, I felt good, felt fast, felt powerful, and, it was a good experience.
What was the Wingate test like?
Pretty tough. I think it was harder than the first bike test. Felt a little more tired after, a little lightheaded, but after I felt pretty good, so.
What's going through your mind as you're getting into the final 10 seconds of that?
I mean, you're just trying to push through, continue to do your best. It's pretty tough when, they're screaming in your ear too, but, it was good and, a fun time.
With the competitive aspects of the testing, are you paying attention, like looking at the board, seeing what other guys are doing, either your teammates or maybe someone like Shane Wright?
Not too much. I think, you're focused on yourself, trying to do the best you could do. I'm sure we'll see everyone's testing later, but then you could look at it. But, when I was out there, I was focusing on my stuff.
What was your best test, do you think, today?
I'd say the bench press. I felt pretty powerful in that. Was moving the bar pretty good, so I thought that.
How much prep do you do for these specific tests? Like, were you running through them in the weeks leading into this?
I mean, fortunate for me, the NTDP does a great job of preparing guys for this, so we had the chance to, do some of the stuff over the past 2 years, so really prepared me for that.
How did your conversations with New Jersey go?
Yeah, really good. We're just trying to get to know each other, see how I am off the ice, see how my family is, see how, they think I am as a player, and, just try to get to know you a little more.
They're a team that's always had NTDP players. They currently have Jack Hughes right now. What would it be like to play with a young, talented team that has Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, and someone that understands the program and what it brings?
Yeah, I mean, everything. Obviously, they have a real bright future. I think they're going to be a Stanley Cup contending team in, a few years. They're only going to get better from here, and having guys like Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, they're going to be the leaders of that team, and a team that's going to take them pretty far.
Are you going there?
I wish I could tell you, but yeah, I mean, my plan is kind of just enjoy summer a little bit, go back to home for a little, enjoy family time, and then get ready for the draft.
I think you meant, are you going for a visit? I think they're bringing some guys.
Oh, yeah, for the visit. No, you're all good. Yeah, that's my plan, to go to New Jersey. I don't know exactly when yet, but yep, that's the plan.
What's your first memory of the Penguins when you were growing up? Like, how did you get into hockey?
Yeah, so I played for Sidney Crosby's Learn to Play program when I was 4 or 5 years old. That's kind of how I got into hockey. Having the chance to, get free equipment, be out on the ice with, the best player in the world. And anytime you can learn anything from him is, pretty special.
Can you speak to the growth of hockey in Pittsburgh overall because of him, players from Cranberry and all throughout you from Western Italy? How explosive has it gotten?
Extremely. I think, you look at the guys that have come out of Pittsburgh, like Vincent Trocheck, JT Miller, John Gibson. I think it's only getting better from here. And, like I said, I want to continue to make a name for the city and continue to grow that as a hockey area. And, I think the Pens League has done a great job producing players, and, it's only going to get better from here.
Do you have a favorite Crosby memory, moment?
Not one that stands out particularly. Just being on the ice with them, seeing how much fun he has out there, teaching kids, helping them out, and, continue to grow hockey. So it's pretty special.
Logan, how do you respond to, like, when Dan Mark goes up to the microphone yesterday, he considers Yuri and Shane to be the most NHL-ready prospects, but also includes you in that mix in saying that, the top 3 teams will have a chance to have a number 1 pick. So it seems to me that he may consider your development to be a little bit more down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's his opinion. I think, everyone has his opinions. I don't really think he's a GM or anything. Other teams know that, what, they want, what they expect, what they see your future as. So, that's what I'm focused on and worried about. The GM's, not the media right now.
Well, he is the head of Central Scouting. It's still a compliment to you in considering you that Central Scouting considers you a potential number 1 pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's something, you always want to be as the first guy to be picked. You never dream about being second. So I think to be in that conversation is pretty special. And, you can't really control anything now. I think you just have to, enjoy the experience. The season's over. You've done what you can. So I think just to soak it all in and enjoy it.
What was the Arizona interview like?
Yeah, I was really good. I had the chance to go out to dinner with them too. They're real nice people, real easy to talk to, and like I said, they're just trying to get to know you a little more, family background, see how you think you are as a player, and see what your future think that you have. So.
And there are other teams out there too that also interviewed you besides the top three. What were they trying to get us? What were they asking you in particular? What did they want to know about you outside of Montreal, Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, they were all pretty easy questions. Like I said, just trying to get to know you. See how you grew up, where you grew up. Like I said, trying to see what you think you are as a player and what you could bring to the team. What winning qualities do you have, and like I said, what you could bring to the team. So it was real easy questions.
Did you get any wacky questions?
No, I had the chance to talk to Cale Makar a little bit before, and he said he got some crazy questions. So I didn't really get any, so it was pretty good.
How does it feel at this point? There's not a whole lot more that you can really do between now and the draft to impact where you go, other than maybe the visit to Jersey. But how does that feel? Is it a relief? Is it concerning? Like, what's the feeling?
I wouldn't say it's a relief. I think you done everything you can. I feel confident in what I did this season to put me in a good spot. Anything could happen on draft day too. You have to be prepared for anything, and like I said, you just have to enjoy it. This is something you dreamed about since being a little kid, and just to soak it all in and have fun.
You mentioned Patrick Kane yesterday as maybe a comparable. He obviously plays right wing, but in the offensive zone, I guess you can make the argument he's their center on the right wing. How was that? I mean, how long have you kind of tagged him as a guy that you have similar skills?
I'd say for a long time, since I was a little kid. Just watching him, his shootout moves, all his highlights, his goals, his backhand. It's something that I tried to put in my game, and anytime you could learn from Patrick Kane, it's a pretty good guy to learn from. So he's definitely someone that I'm going to continue to watch. Watched when I was a little kid, and a special player. So really good guy.
You've been are you exclusively a center basically growing up?
Yeah. So the World Junior Summer Showcase, I played wing for a little bit there. Played wing at the Pens Lead for a little bit, but I want to be a center in the NHL.
Cutter was mentioning yesterday how he's probably going to play center next year. How do you think his game would translate to the center position?
Yeah. I mean, over the past 2 years at the NTDP, he's played a little bit of center. I think he plays both, very versatile. So I think he's a good guy that could make the transition to center real easy, and he's a guy that's physical, bigger dude that I think could play a really good center role.
How much did Patrick maybe open or change people's perspectives on Patrick Kane, getting drafted #1, change people's perspectives on being okay with drafting maybe a so-called undersized or a guy who's not at 6 feet?
Yeah. I mean, I think you look at a couple guys in the league, a guy like Jack Hughes too, who's finding his game, turning into a dominant player in the NHL. So I think size isn't really a factor. If you could play the game, if you could score goals, I don't see why it's going to stop you. And for me, I've always found a way to maneuver through bigger guys, playing teams like North Dakota, Minnesota, and I never really struggled with that. So I think as I continue to get stronger, it won't be a factor at all.
Nathan, what's the most important thing that you've taken away learning from Sid growing up, and how much has he helped develop Pittsburgh into a hockey town?
Yeah, I think just how good of a guy he is, especially off the ice. You never really hear him getting in trouble or anything like that. So I think just how good he is with the community, how good he is as a player, and anytime that you can have a guy like him around your city, it's only going to grow the hockey area and bring the community together. He's a great guy. So.
Were you nervous the first time you were on the ice with him? Like, what do you recall about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was 4 or 5 years old. I don't really remember too much. I was just trying to, learn how to stand on my skates, to be honest. But, anytime, like I said, you have the chance to be on the same ice as Sidney Crosby, it's pretty special.
What are your hobbies outside of hockey?
Yeah, me and my brothers like to golf a lot. We're always doing something active, whether it's pick up baseball, basketball, just hanging around the family, being on the lake. So.
Who's the worst golfer on the program?
I'd maybe say a guy like Lane Hudson. I don't think he's the biggest golfer, special hockey player, but not the best on the course.
Shane was saying when he went out for dinner with the Habs, he was kind of second-guessing what he should order because he knows everything's under the microscope. I'm just wondering, when you're going out to dinner with the NHL teams, does that cross through your mind as you're ordering?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't think you want to go out and order a pizza or anything, but, I think when I heard them order salmon, I'm a guy that got into salmon too, and I like it, so I was like, I should probably go with that.
For not knowing, what are your plans for next year? Are you going to college?
That's the plan for right now. Obviously, it's going to come down to what team I get drafted to, where they think I should end up, and that's a talk I'm going to have with my agent, just trying to see what, the best way to get me in the NHL the fastest way possible. And if that means a year in college, that's what I'm going to do. If, they think I can make jump, I'm going to do that also.
What school?
Minnesota.
What's the meaning of your bracelet?
I found it on a bus and just I thought it was pretty cool. It was a good luck. I had 2 goals the next game I put it on, so I just kind of kept with it. So.
What does it say? It does look cool.
It's some Michigan thing. I don't know what it is, but
yeah,
yeah, nothing special. But
are you a superstitious guy?
not really at all. I just thought I had a pretty good game, so I'll go with it.
You gonna wear it to the draft?
Probably not. Hopefully, I'll maybe have a nice little watch on by then. But
Who's your agent?
Brian Bartlett, the Bartlett Group.
Oh, that's the Kale McCarr.
Yep.
connection.
Yep.